Tired, weary, frustrated? What would you be doing if you weren't raising children alone? What's stopping you from living your best life now? On SoloMoms Talk, I discuss with solo mothers the challenges you face raising children alone. So if you're a working solo mom dealing with independent children, insensitive bosses, weight and health issues, or even debt collectors, join us as we discover your path to get and stay healthy, increase your income, and live with joy and purpose.
In this battle of life, it's hard to keep your head above the water to win this fight.
My guest today is Melanie Mitchell. Thanks for joining us, Melanie.
Well, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, for sure. It's my pleasure. So usually I ask my guests to introduce themselves unless they're a solo mom. So you are a solo mom. So tell us, how did you become a solo mom?
Yeah, so my kids now are 27 and 19, which is very hard for me to believe. I'm actually my oldest son. I had him when I was 21, and him and his father and I we separated and divorced many years ago. And so I was a single mom with him when I met my second husband, who is the father to my daughter, who's 19, and who actually came on board and then ended up helping me raise my son. And he views him as his dad, and and then we ended up separating after realizing that it really was, and divorcing, and when we really realized that we were better off as friends. And we actually have a really great relationship, and he is somebody I would consider one of my best friends. He's very supportive of the things that I do and supportive of me as an individual. And it was just better we've been, we haven't been together, I don't even know. I mean, my daughter's 19, so probably over 16 years. So I've been a single mom but he's been actively involved in their lives, but then he moved away for a period of time. And, there was a time there I was the sole one that had to be providing for my daughter in terms of the actual presence and, making sure we got everything done. So It's been kind of a journey from that perspective. I came from my mom was single for most of my life, and ultimately met my stepdad when I was 12. So, and they were together for over 30 plus years together. So yeah, so it's definitely been a part of my journey in my career and everything else that comes into that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing. And what has been your biggest struggle? I know you, in some way, shape, or form, there was a co-parent somewhere involved, but what has been your biggest struggle?
Yeah, I think, there's times that just feeling that perpetual mom guilt, that you never doing enough, that you aren't able to provide enough, that, you just that struggle. And even though I've had a really good co-parent, there's times that, it feels often very lonely, and it's hard because, I think, we all women in particular take on different challenges, seen from different aspects from their careers and things of that nature. And I was definitely in that realm where I had a challenging, demanding career. So being stretched thin, I think, has been always a big challenge for me, and being able to be there for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just something that's inherent in us, that we take on responsibility for everything and everyone.
It is very true.
Yeah. Most times accept ourselves, right?
Yeah. And we're the last ones to kind of take care of ourselves. So it's been an interesting, as my kids got older, and kind of figuring out where I fit into that scheme, because you're so used to them, you have to be there for them. And of course I'm still there for my kids, but it's such a different way as once they get older. So sometimes I feel like they maybe are parenting me on some days more than I'm parenting them.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So we just talk about you and your family, and I want to talk about what you do. So how are you able first, how were you able to support yourself as a solo mom? Because that's always an interesting topic. And what do you do now?
Yeah, so well, I was a recruiter for over 20 years and had a
Okay.
very, very successful career. And so that was
Mm-hmm.
definitely, the mainstay of my finances for a long time. In 2016, I actually left the company I'd been with for 8 years. And unfortunately, I made some decisions that didn't necessarily pan out right in that following year of 2017. So there was definitely struggles. I mean, there was definitely financial hardship, having to make some really hard decisions, especially when it came to my daughter. My son was already off at college at that time. Luckily for the support of my parents and really help him so that, he could be taken care of in whatever ways he needed, so it was definitely a couple of, there's been definitely some lean years just in the recent history. And ultimately I started career coaching on the side. And honestly, I did it to earn extra income. And I was literally working a full-time job. I was literally coaching. We had to make some hard decisions in our family and, decide where was best for what different schools, things of that nature that, was best for my daughter at the time. And those were hard for me to make because I just, of course I love my kids, but I just adore them. And so feeling like I kind of had failed her as a mom, and having to make some hard decisions that I couldn't necessarily be the best. There was a period of time financially, I couldn't be the best provider for her. And luckily she did have her, of course I have her dad and he's been such a big cheerleader, but allowed me to get back on my feet and really, and not so even much build a business, but it was really about rebuilding myself. I had made some bad choices in terms of some relationship from, as well as some bad career decisions and things that just didn't work out. So it kind of felt like I kept getting knocked down in that year. And it really took a couple of years for me to get really some footing. And there's still days that it's still a challenge, but I've been able to build a business on my own. And there's definitely days that it's tiring, but I've been able to now, I have my own career coaching practice and work with clients across the United States and really being able to help individuals with their careers and guide them. So.
Oh, okay. And making decisions as a solo mom is a very difficult thing, more than it is for one who has a partner, because you have to, you second guess yourself every step of the way, wondering, is it the right thing? And it's not, you're not even thinking about you. You're not thinking, is it the right thing for me? You're thinking, is it the right thing for my child? And so I think that makes it very difficult. And all of us as solo mom face times when we may have regret about the decisions we make, but we had to make them. We had to do something.
Right.
and so we did. And sometimes it's not always the best, but it is life, and that's how it is. You just have to learn as you go.
And you feel guilt because some decisions I made, I made them very selfishly, and that's okay, and of
it's
course
life.
when it happens, or if it, when you make those decisions and those are the decisions that don't succeed, you feel even worse because you feel like, oh, I sacrificed a lot. And, but not only did I sacrifice, my child had to sacrifice, but I really, I always just say, God gave me the children that I was supposed to have. And, I have an incredibly strong daughter and, just didn't, and I know that there's been hard times, she's seen the hard times. So, but I can see now where both of my kids are really more well equipped to dealing with life and what happens in life. And both have I would say financially, both have a very financially sound minds, which is not something that was, I was really taught, and I can't say that I taught them either, but maybe they learned what not to do in some cases. But, so it's definitely, it's much harder when you have to make those decisions because there are times that, of course, it is important, though, that we do make decisions that maybe are for ourselves first and everybody else can, does come second, because those are important just as much as our kids are. So.
Yes. Yeah. But it's always good to understand that We did what we had to do during those times. And, we just have to let the guilt go.
Yeah.
And, just tell ourselves. And our kids know. Our kids know that whatever decisions we had to make, mom had to do something. And mom did something because mom loves us. And regardless of how it seemed, they will empathize with us, if nothing else. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
SoloMoms Talk was designed to curate the stories of solo moms globally. As the facilitator of this platform, I aim to create a peaceful environment where you can share your heart, feel loved, and get the advice you need. So if this sounds like you, why not RSVP for our next virtual meetup? The link is below. It's where you can retreat from the chaos of your life so you can recharge, connect with other moms, and get answers to your burning questions. Remember, you're not alone and you don't have to parent in silence.
Okay. So tell us how you help us with our careers.
Yeah, so I work with, a variety of individuals, but I work with individuals from everybody from helping them with...
Hello, Solo Moms. Do you want an easy and proven way to experience better mood and less anxiety? Even if you think you're too busy with work and family responsibilities, you owe it to yourself to take care of your mental health. Join my easy 5-day gratitude journaling challenge. Studies show that writing down what you're grateful for increase positivity, improve your mood, and help you sleep better. Sleep better? Better sleep? Oh my goodness. But that's only the beginning. Give yourself the gift of better mental health. Learn how you can incorporate gratitude journaling into your life without added stress or overwhelm. Click the link below to sign up for this challenge now and get a free 100-page gratitude journal printable just for signing up. Join the challenge today because your mental health is too important to ignore.
Their resumes, to their LinkedIn profiles, to also helping them navigate what the job search and the job market is today and help them navigate that scene, as well as preparing them for their interviews. I'm a really big, for myself, from a professional standpoint, personally, mindset was a key to my turnaround. So I really do like to focus on mindset and confidence. And a lot of those, I always say that, I could help you practice all the interview questions, but unless we have your mindset and your confidence in place, then we're not going to ultimately see those results, because that's what has to show up first and foremost. So, and really helping individuals from all stages of their careers. So I worked with individuals that are from the beginning, college graduates, to C-level executives, and throughout the United States.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
It's challenging.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And do you help anyone, because that's one of the things we talked about the other day with someone, was older adults, especially women. Men just seem to always have it easy, but older women and their careers, do you help women over 50?
Yeah, I definitely do. I do help women over 50, and being able to, the job market itself has changed, obviously, because of a pandemic that we've, I don't know if we're post-pandemic. I don't know where we're at with that, but
who knows? Depends what country you're in.
Depends on the day. I don't know. I don't know where we're at, but the pandemic itself really just changed everything that happened in the job market, and women have been particularly impacted by that, more so than men. Percentage wise, women tend to be the caregiver, whether that's for their children or for their, for their parents or others in their family, because women are still predominantly paid less than men, and and especially women of color and different ethnic heritages are paid even less than white women. When the decision comes to who was gonna stay home, or who had, because they didn't have childcare or care for the elders, that burden did fall on women, and the burden of still bears that brunt of weight does fall on the shoulders of majority of women. So in fact, that's something I'm going to be on LinkedIn tomorrow on Tuesday talking about, is what we call the new glass ceiling, which is working from a hybrid situation, and how that can also hurt a woman more than being, because there's a thing called proximity bias, where if you're not in my face, so to speak,
Involved,
and right there,
right. Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. And so, women have seen a really big impact from this pandemic. And, we've made great strides. I mean, of course, there have been a lot of changes, but there's still so much to do. So I definitely work with women to really help them figure out how to navigate that. Age discrimination is, it's always been alive and, bolstering. I think a lot of times we don't talk about it enough. I think we're starting to get, a situation where people are living longer, so they're working longer. So this whole idea of like, what you look like at 65 or what your value is over the age of 50, really has to start to change. That mentality has to start to change. I think it's funny. I'm a big Golden Girls fan, but there's a picture of what the Golden Girls back in the 80s were actually in their 60s. That was what 60 appeared to us,
Right.
And now
right.
we see, 60s and 50s are very different,
Yeah.
I'll be 50 in 2 years. And I'm like, I don't know when that happened, but
Just crept up on you.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know when, but it is a topic that is, speaks to me. So because I've obviously my age, but I've seen it firsthand. I've unfortunately dealt with hiring managers that have been discriminatory or have biases towards age as a factor in hiring. So it is very real, and it is something that we have to continue to fight.
Yeah, definitely. Because we at our age have more experience and knowledge and wisdom to help a company grow than young whippersnapper.
There's so much value that somebody can bring, and I always just tell my clients at the end of the day, if somebody truly doesn't want you because of your age, is that the place that you want to work for anyways?
Right.
There will be somebody out there will be an organization that will value your expertise and experience. And, and I, do have, and there's days that sometimes I don't have the answers. Like Lord knows if I had the answer, I would be shouting it from the rooftops and fixing it. But, I have a former client who reached out that she's getting questions that, they're the way they're framed. They're definitely, have some age biasness towards them. And there's a lot to offer. And unfortunately, people are not getting beyond that.
Yeah, it's true. Too bad, but okay. All right. So how can we get in touch with you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. It's Melanie Mitchell Wexler's on LinkedIn. And of course, you can also check out my website, which is findsucceedachieve.com. And you can always message me send me an email from there as well. And then M Wexler Career Coach is on Instagram.
Okay. All right. I'll put those links in the show notes as well.
Thank you.
All right. So what is Melanie grateful for today?
You know what? Today I'm grateful. I'm always grateful for just having another day. The sun is shining, so it's a good Monday. And I got to talk to my oldest son. He's been very conscious at 27. You can't always get your older ones to call you. So
tell me about it.
He's been very good about calling his mom on Monday mornings. And so for a couple of weeks, we've had, we have like our Monday morning chat. So I was grateful for that. So
yeah,
once they leave the house, you cannot guarantee that they're going to call you. So you can try to track them down all you want, but they got their own lives. They're doing stuff. They're up till, my daughter will send me a text like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, I'm asleep, okay?
So I know. I have 3 adult sons. So
so you're just all my clients when they. I usually will no matter what I'm doing, I usually pick up because I don't know when the next time I'll actually get.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you very much for coming and talking to me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So not letting you go just yet though. All right. Do you practice self-care, and what does that look like for you?
I do practice self-care, but I sometimes have to sometimes I let myself kind of go for a little bit before I'm kind of a little bit drained before I'm actually doing that. But for me, a lot of it is, I try to schedule at least 3 workouts a week. It's an hour where I literally don't have my phone. I don't even carry it with me when I'm working out. Whatever's happening, whoever's calling, texting, y'all have to wait for an hour. And so,
Yeah.
but it's a way for me to just connect. So I definitely do that. Like Sunday, for example, it's the little things. It's like Sunday I slept in, even though I had quite a to-do list on my plate, for house stuff, work stuff, all that stuff. I still slept in and, and it felt good. And so, I think it's the little things and just doing the little things often that don't necessarily take that much time, but help you just kind of refresh and recharge.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And finally, do you have one piece of advice for another solo mom?
You know what? Even in the toughest of challenges, that just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, and just keep pushing yourself to succeed and hitting your goals, because your kids are watching. And even if they have to, they can understand the challenges in their own way. It does not make you less of a mom because of that. It just, but they're going to learn so much from you by not giving up and by continuing. And that will inspire them to push harder themselves. And they're part of your team. So, just embrace them and, just keep on moving forward. That's the best piece of advice I can give anybody.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Melanie Mitchell, for coming and talking to me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm excited to share that SoloMoms Talk is now on YouTube. Check out these interviews on our new channel, SoloMoms Talk TV. There you will actually see the interaction between myself and my guests. You will also find bite-sized clips of daily inspiration to help you manage the struggles of everyday life. So click SoloMoms Talk TV below to watch now. Thanks for listening. Are you still setting New Year's resolutions only to ditch it halfway through January? Or are you struggling to keep up with life because it seems you've lost control? Sign up for Successful Goal Setting Strategies for Solo Moms and let me walk you through setting up a plan for your life based on your birthdays. Join the waitlist below and put a plan in place so you can have joy in the middle of life's chaos. Remember, you're not alone and you don't have to parent in silence.